today.
Yeah.
Everybody is back, and UC Davis Aggies.
They're back.
They're back. They're making it happen, Cal. They're making us proud.
Yeah.
My goodness, joining us each and every Wednesday at 6:40-ish is the one, the only, the mayor of Shredville, Coach Tim Plough. Good morning, Coach.
Boys, how we doing?
Awesome.
Doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I am exhausted. I'm glad this bye week is here. Need a little break.
What I always got to ask you, what was the fight last week you showed?
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a physical game. We knew it was going to be a fight that we had to take, into the late rounds, and so we showed Diego Corrales versus Jose Luis Castillo.
That was one of those fights that you look at now, and it probably should have been stopped about 7 times. And by the way, Diego Corrales, a Sacramento kid, R.I.P., and I've probably seen that fight 30 times. If I was not a fan of Diego's, I probably would have been. The fact that Diego was basically unconscious for half the fight, and then when he finally got our guy up against the ropes, and the ref stepped in there, that had to be one of those, well, the ref knew something we didn't, because I was honestly surprised the ref stopped it that early, even though dude was basically out on his feet. That was a hell of a fight.
Our team, I always make the team pick, like, hey, you got to pick which fighter you're rooting for, and so the great thing about these fight nights, these guys don't know anything about these fights, so they're all watching that for the first time. They're going nuts, and at the end, when the ref called it, half the room was just livid. They were like, how do you call the fight? The other guy's been laying on the ground the entire,
Yep.
It was really funny.
It is interesting going back and watching that now. But, yeah, I love the fact that they don't know
That is cool.
That is really cool. Have you, I'm sure on occasion you've had a player know a fight, but generally, what would you say, 95% of the time they have no idea?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely in the 90s. I mean, there's probably 1 or 2 guys on each team that for some reason they're boxing fans and they know, but for the most part, these guys have no clue, which is great.
So, Coach, you guys we're back at home taking on you told us last week, look, NAU's going to be tough, and they are a good team, but you guys really took it to them with a strong second half. What were some of the reasons for success for that impressive victory to keep things rolling?
Yeah, I think the first part is our defensive line. They got a lot of pressure on their quarterback, and it was an emphasis. We always have keys to victory, and that game we were talking about, hey, we got to hit this quarterback 10 times. That was kind of our goal, and ended up hitting him 16 times,
Wow.
and we sacked him 6 times. And this year we've played 7 games. Well, they're counting 6 of them, but technically we've had 7 contests, and in those 7 games, we've already had the same amount of sacks that we had last year in 14 games. So I think the D-line getting after the quarterback was a huge, huge part of the game. And then, then offensively, we got into a really good rhythm in the second half, and I think we scored every drive we had the ball except for 1. So, I think it was a good combination. I don't know how we're doing this, guys. We're down 13 players to season-ending injuries, and 5 All-Americans gone for the year. But, man, the one thing that is just I'm so proud of is these guys just every week coming in, getting the game plan, rallying together, and finding ways to have more points than the other team at the end of the game, and not listening to the noise. And so very, very cool what's going on. It's going to be really, really tough next 5 weeks, and to be at the bye week at this point is pretty special for these guys.
Do you smell that, Jason?
What's that?
You say he doesn't know how he's doing all of this, but God, that smells like great coaching and good recruiting to me. Coach, that's how you're doing it, right? Great coaching, good recruiting, heart of the champions, the kids pulling together. That's got to be the secret sauce.
I definitely, wouldn't be having this kind of success without our staff. I mean, our staff really is tremendous, and they didn't blink. A couple of weeks ago when all those guys got out, we had a staff meeting, and I was like, "Listen, guys, they're not going to cancel the games. Like, they're still going to have a game every Saturday. We're going to have to come up with a way to compete. And I think the staff kind of enjoyed it. Like, all right, let's really get creative and figure out ways to do this without these. I mean, we don't have that many guys on defense specifically, and so we have to figure out a way to get all those guys off of special teams and play some new guys. And it's just and then our players. Yeah, I think you look at some of the guys we've brought in the last 2 years and the depth we've been able to create, but just the Aggie pride they're playing with, and some of the senior leadership we have, and so it's been as great as last year was, and it was an amazing season. This one's been extremely exhausting and taxing, but every time we win a game right now, it's just the emotions that we feel are pretty cool.
So you've mentioned being exhausted, and it sounds like you are relieved that the bye is here. How much do you need that, knowing that everything you're still chasing, you've got coming up with all these games and goals that you're trying to get to? So how badly do you need this break?
Yeah, I think the staff needs it for sure. The last month has been just guys sleeping in the office. I mean, we're just trying to figure out ways to win without your players, and how to save other guys from playing too much, and I know the staff really needs a breather here, but also from the players' standpoint, we just don't have enough guys that can play in a game, and so we got some guys that are really worn out. Even if they're not injured, they're just beat up and worn out. And so, you get a couple of days off at the start of the week. We're gonna have a good work day today on the practice field, a good work day tomorrow, and then they're gonna get Friday, Saturday, Sunday, really Monday off again. And so, hoping to just get a couple guys to take guys that are gonna have to play a lot of football. And we met the other day and we said, hey, I mean, you got a chance. Everything's in front of you. You win another couple games, you might get your way into the tournament, and shoot, that means you could have up to 10 games left. And so you're thinking about how are we going to survive these 5 games, but these kids are thinking about how they're going to survive 10 games. Yeah. Like they really want to make a run at this stuff, and so for us to do that, we're just going to have to do it with a smaller number of guys, and so we have to really think about how we can keep them healthy and keep the longevity of the season with what's going on. And so having a bye week to plan for all that is important too. And shoot, we're playing a really difficult team in 2 weeks, so I love having an extra week to prepare for that game, and hopefully that can help us be successful.
Coach Tim Plough joining us, UC Davis Aggies head football coach. Coach, I know you're always looking for an edge. You're always looking for extra motivation, and I'm curious whether it was on the sideline last week or as you prepare for next week. Everyone knows this stat, I would say, that you guys have not lost at least a regular season game to a team with Northern in their name since October of 2023. That's 2 full years. So you kept that streak going last Saturday, and then, looky here, Northern Colorado. You got DiMaggio, you have Cal Ripken, you got a lot of very well-known legendary streaks in sports. Are you going to make sure the kids know what's on the line come October 25th?
I got a team meeting starting in 10 minutes.
That's the lead?
That will be the number 1 lead off of the guys. We're good. Don't even worry about it. We got this figured out. We're going to be just fine. I appreciate that. I was not aware of that.
Yeah.
I was aware that in my tenure that we play really well off of a bye, but I was not aware that the Northern was a big part of that.
Well, look, you pair the bye in the northern part.
Hello.
Look at that.
October 28th, yeah. Northern Arizona. You were on the road and lost 38-21 in that game. I mean, Len Larison had 101 rushing yards. Still, Hastings had 327 passing. But yeah, that's a 17-point loss. That's the last time. Since then, sweeperoo
of the Northerns.
Yeah.
Well, it's like isn't that from Game of Thrones, right?
That's right.
Winter is coming, or the North.
This is the North. Yeah, winter's coming.
So for us to do that, that's impressive.
Will you get a chance, Coach, to get a day or two? I know you guys are always preparing and self-scouting when the bye time, but like for yourself, for your family, for your kids, like do you get any time in this little bye week?
Yeah, I'm gonna really grind here at the start of the week and try to. We've been successful in the bye because the way I was taught, you prepare in the bye week like you're going to play on that Saturday, even though you're not. And that way, when you get to the following week, everything's already in. You're just installing it for the second time. You can go home every night and have dinner with your family. But I'm going to push pretty hard early in this week, and then, Thursday, Friday, for sure, Saturday, Sunday, that's going to be I'll probably be at the Davis Little League field all 4 of those days.
Nice.
I usually either I'm living at home in my office or I'm at the Davis Little League field. So if someone wanted to find me and track me down, I'm only at 3 places every single day. So hopefully I can go watch some Little League baseball games and watch these guys swing it.
Just as we finish up, just to prep you up for even beyond that, because you don't need to get up for Montana State and Sacramento State. Some quick research. You've not lost to a team with Idaho in their name since October of 2021. so after Northern Colorado and hopefully keeping that streak going, now you've got a 4-year streak, 2 weeks in a row, and then it's Montana State, Sac State. I mean, let's go on those. So I'm just, look, you're a pro. You know what you're doing. They always say good ideas can come from the lowly list of low people. Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there, Coach.
Well, again, these are all things I need to hear right now, because I promise you, at this point, with all the guys out, every week I come in on Sunday and I think to myself, I don't know how the heck we're going to win this game. So the fact that we have the Northern and the Idaho streaks back to back.
Yeah, back to back.
That is the blood flow I needed, because I'm telling you, every week I'm looking at it going, how are we going to do this again?
Yeah.
So this is
now you know.
Good for us. Yeah.
Well, coming up next week, I haven't even told you the story about how I got pantsed on stage on the Northern Colorado campus and was never able to go back. So you want motivation? That's
a tease.
We're chock full, pal. Trick or treat, baby.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a reason to come back next week, everybody, make sure you tune into that.
Coach Tim Plough with a much-needed week off, hopefully. Enjoy whatever free. You know what? Can I just say this to you as we leave? I want you to find some joy this week, Coach.
Boys, I mean, that is what it's all about. Every single day, we got to seek it out. We got to find it.
Yes.
So how can we not find it this week? We got to get it done.
You got it, brother. Talk to you soon, Coach. Thank you.
All right, guys.
See you. That's Coach Tim Plough. We'll take a break. We're trying to inform here.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we come back, 3 for Madness, the New York Football Giants, Dawn Staley, and tonight's preseason game. What do all those have in common? Nothing, but we're going to ask questions about them next.
For the latest from Kings training camp,
tune in to Sactown Sports 11.